Hip hop, hip hop, hip hop, hip
Bars is back.
hip hop,
Sam
hip
and
hop,
oh God,
hop,
what's
hip
up with you?
For you guys, but yeah, man, you tuned into the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast, the #1 non-celebrity podcast out there right now.
Talk that shit. All right, man. Let's get started on a serious note, man. So I showed you a tweet that Jermaine Dupri shared on his Instagram, and it had definitely our heads talking, or our heads turning. It said this. It said, if you really from the A, it's time for us to come together and stop all this shooting shit at Lenox Mall and now at Phipps. The police need to get tougher. The profiling needs to go to cold red, and I can give a fuck about y'all getting mad about me saying this. Little kids getting shot is whack. Bold statement. Now, before we go ahead and give our opinion on what he had to say, I got to give some backstory to this situation now. On Monday evening, I'm trying to find exactly where I want to start reading at. Well, okay. It was the, excuse me, my fault, I lost my place. Okay, it was Atlanta police right now are saying that they have identified a 7-year-old child who was struck by a stray bullet Monday evening while Christmas shopping at a high-end plaza in Bankhead. Now, her name is Kennedy Maxey. She remains at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta at Scottish Rite in critical condition Wednesday afternoon. Maxey, who lives in Cobb County and attends Sedalia Park Elementary, was shot in the back of the head while riding with her mother and aunt near Phipps Plaza. Investigators do not believe the family's Lexus was intended as a target of the shooting, which stemmed from an argument between several men in a parking lot outside of Saks Fifth. Interim Police Rodney Bryant says. Now, they say that after an evening of Christmas shopping near Phipps Plaza, 7-year-old Kennedy Maxey was in the car heading home with her mom and aunt when she was struck. The online campaign is launched by Kennedy's mother reads, Kennedy is currently fighting for her life at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. Continue to pray for our sweet Kennedy. Now, Monday's incident outside of Phipps Plaza, oh God, follows the spate of shootings in the area as police struggle to stem the spike of violence that ends a historically deadly year. As of Wednesday, there have been 151 homicides across the city, up to 99 slayings. Police investigated in 2019. It's very, very sad what's going on. So with all that being said, we have a young lady, a young 7-year-old child fighting for her life. So we pray for her family now.
Definitely. That's sad.
Very, very unnecessary what's going on. And then we come to Jermaine Dupri's comments. So, God, what do you think now? You got the whole backstory, and now we say, what's your thoughts, man?
First and foremost, it's ridiculous and unacceptable that this young lady was shot in the back of her head. That shouldn't happen. You know what I mean? Understanding that sometimes accidents do happen, but we see the element right now in the community is that these guys are just shooting all buck wild and all that instead of, doing their thing responsibly. Not that I'm condoning it, but, anytime a child gets hit, it's just like, what are you doing? But I think Jermaine Dupri, even though I understand the scope of the problem, I understand the inner cities, look at what the hell is going on in America right now. You got a record number of people out of work. I know a couple people who work in the field of psychology, and they talk about how mental illness has went to an all-time high, addiction has went to an all-time high, all these different things. Suicide are going up because the economy's the shit. This whole COVID thing, we can't blame it on anybody, but this whole COVID thing is taking a lot of people out of work. It's taking away a lot of jobs that would necessarily be, here, and people will be working. So how does this tie into everything? Crime goes up when people are not working. When people can't eat, they got to go do things. You know what I mean? When crime goes up, people start killing, people start stealing, people start doing whatever they got to do to so-called survive. Well, I think Jermaine Dupri is misguided and even toxic with his statement is when he's telling the police that profiling needs to go to code red. The police were never, in my opinion, the answer. The police, what are they really stopping at the end of the day? They coming at the end of the day to clean things up and to go hunt down somebody. Now, if you're talking about profiling and putting it on code red, that means that more innocent Black, Latino people are going to be, thrown in the confines of the system as we are now. We already got that problem. So for you calling for the police to go crazy and go ham. I think it's counterproductive in a way, but I understand it. I understand what he's saying to the lay term, but I understand the problem at the bigger scope. The bigger scope of the problem is the economy, the economics. That's where it needs to be, I think, addressed. I don't think short term the police turning it up more is ain't gonna do nothing but end up more of us dead and in prison.
As a leader in Atlanta, like Jermaine Dupri is, I think it was a little irresponsible for him to throw a very emotion-driven text and tweet out there, given the times. If you're a leader out there, then you understand that there has to be a different way of policing that neighborhood. And I'm not saying going out there and using a gun for a gun or anything wild to put yourself in any kind of situation, but I think any grown man, any grown adult, anybody with a soul will understand that in children, women, children, elderly, anybody innocent in a situation that falls and succumbs to random gunfire is very unnecessary, and we have to do better for that.
Absolutely.
But when you talk about putting code red, and you're talking about police forces who already don't understand the complexity of our neighborhoods, don't understand the complexity of our people, don't even understand the tone and the context in which you speak. We understand it's code red out here, but why can't we get together? Why can't we, like we see these marches out here when police kill black folk, why can't we all get together and say is enough in our neighborhood without the cameras, without the flashy fucking mask and the signs and the fist up, really come together without there being any media involved, and let's get this shit moving in the right direction as opposed to putting a wild tweet like this out. This kind of stuff just kind of makes me feel like, okay, it's a little disingenuous stuff going on. I'm not saying that's what Jermaine Dupri, I've met that man on numerous occasions and got a lot of respect for him, even though he doesn't want to come on this platform. Got nothing but respect for him. But this comment right here, I just think it's a very irresponsible, and like you said, it just kind of, it may open up Hell's Gate. You see, it's kind of like, all right, somebody who's on the fence of, we don't really like black folk, but we like playing ball with them and we like rocking on Mad with them, sees this and goes, throws this on their Facebook, you see? Jermaine Dupri said it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's like, oh, shit.
And you look at it, man, it's the syndrome, I say, the man who's been rich too long, the man who's been up in, Sandy Springs in a mansion too long and kind of is disconnected from what's really going on in the street. You can point from the mansion all day and say, oh, you need to do this or you need to do that, but it's going to affect the people that you might not feel, but it's going to affect those people at the bottom. You at the top, Jermaine. You can sit up here and you can bark your orders and be comfy cozy, but the people at the bottom is going to feel that shit the most when you pointing and pretty much saying it's open season or code red on the profile. What the hell does that mean? Like, I want a better explanation of what that, when he's saying go in, that means start running down on more niggas. That's what that mean?
The police need to get tougher. The profiling needs to go to code red, and I could give a fuck about y'all getting mad about me saying this. Little kids are getting shot is whack. 100% facts, little kids getting shot is whack. But a innocent black man getting shot or innocent black man getting thrown in jail on Christmas Eve because he's trying to go home to his family is definitely whack.
We gotta ask ourselves. We gotta ask ourselves, Sam, man, like these people who sit up there and bark this stuff from their mansions and all that. What things have they put in place, with the money? And maybe he has. What things have they put in place in their local area to ensure that, all right, maybe I can't save everybody, but 50, 60, 10, 5 kids can benefit from something I put in place. Maybe he has. Like I said, I don't want to discount that he has it, but we have to ask ourselves that rather than somebody just sitting up there in a position of privilege, pointing their finger and telling people what to do. Yeah, it's cool and shit, but at the end of the day, the police, when I see them, they always come in at cleanup time. What are they really preventing? You
know what I would have did if I was Jermaine? I'm not Jermaine, but I would have rather him called to the community, told somebody, listen, I know we got a code out here, but we got babies dying, and that's unacceptable. If y'all know anything, we got to protect each other. OGs, if y'all know something.
T.I. style?
I'm not telling to go to the tip line, but there has to be a way that we can do this without the police coming and busting down on our backs. If we got to bring them motherfuckers in hand and chain ourselves and throw them in the police station ourselves, that's the motherfucker that did it and walk up out of there, then let's do that. Because we can't have babies out here getting shot in the head while they're out here Christmas shopping, 7 years old. We got kids around that age. We coach kids around that age. Yeah. That shit hurts. That can't happen. But you saying code red, the profiling has to turn up. The police have to get tougher. Whoa, bruh.
Code red on education, better education. Code red on better economics. Code red on better entrepreneurship programs. You know what I mean? Code red on those type of things.
Code red on better police understanding in these neighborhoods.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but yeah, man, you know, shout out to Jermaine. He might ain't gonna like this video too much, but the people, you know, listening, man, I hope you guys, if you liked the video, you enjoyed it, share the video, smash the like button. And this particular episode is being brought to you by Skio Clothing. You see it right there. It's www.skioclothing.com. Make sure you go right now to check that great clothing out from the brother at skioclothing.com.
Yeah, shout out to Reese, man. What we got next, brother?
Me.